It's your man Scumbag Steve from Scumbag Chronicles every Wednesday 8 to 10 on 8 Squad Rubber Radio. Heritage Hip Hop is the wave. If you're not down with Heritage Hip Hop, you're fucking up. Support the vehicle.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev, Heritage Hip Hop, and we are making moves not only in the music wave, we are changing the game for people who are articulate, pronounced, intelligent, and will fuck your mind up with not only the truth, but realism. Introduce yourself to the people.
This is your main man Scumbag Steve, aka Stephen McCaster, aka Dr. Fester, the world's greatest girl tester, aka Joe the Grinder, the good spot finder. Salute Heritage Hip Hop.
This is my man's right here, everybody. And before we get into the bullshit, just let me say why I respect this gentleman right here. The first time I met you, we talked before you went on the air.
Right.
And we actually learned that we have a lot of shit in common.
Okay. From
our professional life,
right, how
we see the game, and also how we live our lives based on morals.
Definitely.
Before we get into that, the show, why Scumbag?
You know what it is? Scumbag is like a gag on everyone else. Now, if I'd have got on the radio and called myself the Ayatollah or the president or the reverend, I would have to live up to that. Mm-hmm. How can you tell these dirty stories and you call yourself the Ayatollah? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't give myself a name that represented some high-standing person in the community, because that would handcuff my conversation. Mm-hmm. Once I called myself a scumbag, I was free. Because what do you expect from a scumbag? I trick them with the bullshit and I drop the education and knowledge on top of them. Now you gotta respect it. And then what happens is, when I call myself a scumbag, I'm talking about me, but I'm also talking about you. There's some things I've done in my life that I will admit, and there's some things that you've done in your life that I'll admit through me that you can't admit. But you can understand it and you can rock with it. So Scumbag Steve is the wave. That's why I chose that name. It gives me a freedom to talk about a myriad of topics without being judged because of a title. You're the president, you talk like that? No, you're no kind of president. He's a scumbag. Now I got a freedom, I got an autonomy to just get on any topic and make it dirty, classy, exciting, and as fun as I want.
That's dope, because the thing about the persona that you show on your show is the persona of people who actually push society to its better by putting the mirror on it.
Exactly.
The reflection of truth is the damnation of character to those who are unjust.
Damn right.
So let's talk spiritually real quick. Because some people, when I say spiritually, they know I believe in Christ. And they're like, oh, you're just going to talk Bible. You're just going to talk Bible. But I could talk more stuff than that. Right. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, right, it says a man's life, woman, whatever, is judged on perfection. So when people say, well, I'm not perfect, I'll be like, but you can be perfect. That's a lie. The definition of perfect is to be balanced. And it's people who shine the light on the impurities of light that tend to put us in our balance than for us to believe the bullshit or just to believe one thing over another thing. Why do you think it's important for you to show that balance on your show?
The thing about the importance of the balance is, it's the truth. You know, just as dirty as we are, that's just as clean as we are. Just as intelligent as we think we are, that's just as ignorant as we are. So what we do is we focus on everything that makes us look good, but at the same time, the better you look, the worse you look. Mm-hmm. There's always a chink in an armor somewhere. And if you're not secure enough to talk about what your Achilles heel is, you're not ready for a conversation with the world. You're ready for a small microcosm of a conversation that puts you in the light to be admired. I could put myself in a light to be admired, revered, feared, hated, despised, and you can still have a conversation with me. So that's what I think it is. I can sit here and say, oh, I'm this person, I'm this great, I'm that type of person. And in the meanwhile, while you're talking about how great you are, people are looking for your imperfections. Why not put your imperfections out there? Have a conversations based on the insecurities that we share, then we get a better understanding of how great we are.
I respect that, because that is a quote almost from one of my favorite cartoons, Batman animated series. Two-Face is Harvey Dent. He's running for president, governor, whatever. And the guy says, well, Harvey gives a great picture. He said, the brighter the picture, the darker the negative. Exactly. That every person who gives that good face in public has a dark something that they're trying to hide.
Like Jesus said, if all the world speaks well of you, so have they done of the false prophets. Mm-hmm. So everybody can't speak well of me. But I can speak well of myself, and I can also speak befoul of myself, because that's in all of us. I've done some things I shouldn't have done, and you have too. But I'm not insecure to the point where I have to hide that anymore. So those are the conversations I really want to have. Let's take the cover off the bed and see the sheets.
True, because people will attack you on the basis of, what do they call the thing that they try to beat all men of color down with in the year 2019? Toxic masculinity.
Right.
And toxic masculinity to me is a false statement off a false ideology. I don't believe it really exists. But people will characterize it in Donald Trump America. We make a lot of new words and new quotes and new terms to cover somebody's bullshit. Sorry for cursing so much, everybody's watching Heritage Hip Hop, but we're going to keep it real today. People try to cover people's bullshit by making these new titles.
Right.
We call it alternate facts. We call it half truths. We call it white lies. And now we call it gender inequality, toxic masculinity, and politically correct. It's a gift to not be politically correct. What does that mean to you?
Well, the gift to not be politically correct, it gives me a freedom to be who I want to be. It gives me a freedom to break outside of those norms. As far as that toxic masculinity is concerned, well, there is a masculinity that can be toxic if you're a woman beater or if you're too domineering. But every woman says they want an alpha male, and they don't understand what they're asking for. When a woman says she wants an alpha male, alphas don't compromise. If you get with an alpha male, it's either my way or the highway. There is no room for your opinion. There is no room for what you want. You do what I want and do what we want, and that's it. That's an alpha. Every alpha who runs a pack does not compromise with the pack. I lead, you follow, or you fight me for the position. Alpha. See, what a woman wants is an alpha male with a beta trait. I'm a leader, but I'm a compromiser. Alpha male, beta trait, but they'll say they want an alpha male. As far as toxic masculinity, there are some toxic parts of men that we exhibit. Ego. You know what I'm saying? We have an ego that can be very detrimental. We have a pride that can hinder us from succeeding. That can be toxic, but on the whole, it's not. They put that toxic in to try to shame you for being the man that you want to be. When I say something, I mean it, and I'm not budging. If I don't like what you're doing, get the fuck out my face, and I mean it. That's not toxic. That means you're going to respect the line that I draw, or you have to leave my presence. Now, if you're going to stand my presence, respect that line. That's all it is. Toxic masculinity. I believe it's a myth. I believe it's a facade. But I believe there are some facets of the male psyche that can be toxic to anything. But on the whole, I think what you said, that word is an oxymoron. It's a shaming tactic. Because they want everyone to have some kind of pride gene, some kind of acceptance gene, some kind of tolerance gene that can hinder you from being the man that you think you should be because you're scared to offend someone. No. Being a man is all about offending people and learning from the offense.
Yeah, if you don't offend somebody, you're really not living in truth. You're living in reconciliation, because you're just trying to be on everyone's good side so you don't stand out. And that's what I love about the Scum Bag Chronicles, because even when you talk about insecure women, that show is great.
Thank you.
And insecurities is something that America within the past 20 years has taught us to accept, rather conquer and overcome.
That's right.
When you talk about the ego, especially now that women are now using ego over sexuality in the workplace, and men are using ego over logic when it comes to relationships and places of business, where do you see your show as the healing factor to dealing with those type of issues that we deal with?
I see my show as I'm the proverbial scab remover. I want to peel that scab off and get to that pink meat that hurts. Once we deal with the pink meat that hurts, we can heal. When I talk about the insecurities of women, I mean that. Women are insecure, especially if you're a high quality male. They'll say things to you like, you deal with a lot of women. Okay, I'm supposed to. I'm a high quality man. I'm supposed to have a myriad of women who are attracted to me, who avail themselves to me. I pick and choose and let's refuse. And if that causes you to be insecure about what I'm dealing with, either make yourself the woman I'ma choose, or make yourself, or remove yourself from the program so someone can get that spot that you're holding up. You got two choices: be the woman I'm going to choose, or be the woman who gets out the way for the woman I'm going to choose. But don't let your insecurity try to hinder my progress with what I'm trying to achieve. And then we got insecure women who will want you to be with them, but they want you to pursue them the way they want to pursue you. And when you don't do that, there's a reason, some kind of insecurity within you that caused you not to talk to her. No, I wanted to see what you were bringing to the table before I availed my resources to you. And you're not coming to the table strong enough, so I made a better choice for myself. So there is a part of a female insecurity that we don't talk about, because if you do that, you're woman bashing. But the male insecurity is on the dais every day. Weak men don't know how to love a strong woman. What's your definition of strong and weak?
So, and love.
Yeah, and love. So, and how do you know these weak men don't know how to do it? Have you had the experience? So the male fragile ego and insecurity is always being bastardized on some level or another on Facebook and entertainment and music. So it's always talked about. When you talk about the woman's insecurity, everybody want to clutch their pearls, but it's real. I've experienced it. I'm sure every man who's a high quality male has experienced. You give a woman some good penis, maybe twice you give her that dick good. You got a great personality. The next thing she'll say to you is, how many other women are you seeing? Who else are you doing? You have sex with all the women the way you do with me? Why are you worried about that when I'm here with you? That's an insecurity. Who's that texting you? Why are you worried about that if I'm here with you? That's an insecurity. So, and it's not your job to coddle her insecurity. It's your job to pull it out, man. Let's deal with it. You're being insecure. Why? And if she doesn't want to talk about it, well, don't bring it up again until you're ready to master that demon, or you're ready to step aside.